welcome back to the video. I recently bought this new budget 50mm lens made by Yongnuo. It's the Yongnuo 50mm f1.8 large aperture autofocus lens for Nikon. This lens is available for a variety of different cameras. It's sort of a Chinese clone of a lot of other lenses that are available out there, and it's a solid budget option instead of buying the 50mm lens that goes with your camera or is made by yours. For example, mine would be the Nikon AF 50mm lens, which was around £150. This one was around £60, so it's a significant saving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a review of this sensor with my first impressions and how it seems to work out for YouTube and some photography. I just want to start the review by saying that I am nowhere near a professional in either of those, so this is just my impressions as someone just starting out, an amateur, looking at this. So let's see how it goes. So let's start with my unboxing of the lens. So here we have the box that it came in. It was fairly light to the touch when I first got it. I was a bit worried about what was inside and whether or not it had been battered around, but it's fairly simple as you can see here. So let's go ahead and open it up. So yeah, as you can see, there's not very much packaging. It was just one flimsy piece of cardboard, and then here's the lens inside. But thankfully it wasn't too battered during its shipping. There's a tiny bit, there's just instructions, a bit of cardboard, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and unwrap the lens. I did get some silica gel, I guess, in case it gets wet, but hopefully it doesn't. So this is going to be a fairly quick unboxing. There wasn't too much here. So here we have the actual lens itself. Yeah, the silica gel. Here's the lens itself. It's quite small, as you'd expect for a 50mm lens. It's plastic build. It actually feels quite high quality in the hand, which is nice. If I open up the lens cap here, you can see that nice big sensor. And you can also see that they've included plastic on the lens itself, which is really good on both sides. We pop off the lens cap here. You'll see that it also has a metal camera mount, which is really nice for a lens of this price. It's a lot better than a plastic mount. So there we go. So the first thing I did when I got the lens is set up some photography, which you can see examples of here. All I did is just took a few pictures of my desk to try it out, and then I tried to line up a shot for my YouTube video. I did encounter some problems with this because my sensor is a crop sensor, which means it zooms in quite a lot. So I had some trouble lining up a perfect shot, but I think I managed one here. The first thing I noticed right out the bat is because of the huge aperture on this lens, it lets in so much more light. You can actually see me properly at night here, whereas in that kit lens that I had before, this would be really grainy, whereas actually I think I could actually film some videos after sundown without the natural light for once, and I think this shot actually looks really good. I had to move it a lot further away than I used to have my camera. I used to have it on my desk up close. Now this is actually on my windowsill over a cactus, which I'll show you in a moment, and you'll see exactly how it is. But you get this really nice frame, this nice bokeh effect from doing this. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, there you go, it's a bit far away. So that's definitely something to note with these fixed focal length lenses. You can't zoom in and out, and therefore they're going to have a fixed rate that they can focus, so they need to be a certain distance away from you, especially if you don't have a full frame lens. If you have a crop sensor like me, it's definitely worth checking that beforehand, because then you'll know exactly how close you need to be. So I needed to be a bit further away from my lens, whereas you might need to be a bit closer up. Turned out okay, but if you don't have much room in your room and you're planning to film for YouTube, that could definitely be a problem. So the next thing I did is I went out for a walk, and I'm now showing you a selection of the shots I managed to take on that walk. The lens is quite clear, the focus is pretty good, the autofocus, as you can see, but I did encounter some problems. One is that the autofocus is really loud, which if you're filming a video and using the internal camera mic can really be a problem. It makes a lot of sound, but it is quite accurate, and if you're using manual focus, obviously that's not a problem, and if you're not moving around much, that's also not a problem. I also had to use, when I was taking videos, single focus mode, not multi-point focus, because in multi-point it would just keep refocusing, so that was a bit of an issue. But that can easily be resolved by choosing single point focus, and for YouTube that's all you'll need anyway. I did manage to take some lovely photos. This was just a walk around town. I didn't take tons of shots in order to get something good. These are just a selection of what I took when I was out there, just trying to showcase what kind of pictures you'll get from this lens. It is very nice. how crisp and clear they are, and you get that lovely bokeh effect. It would be quite a good travel lens, I think, because it focuses quite well on things far away as well as up close. Although if you're not used to how much it crops, it certainly takes some getting used to, which was definitely the case for me, because I've only really had my kit lens before. But not having the ability to zoom also results in you perhaps being a bit more creative with your photo taking. So in terms of photos, no real complaints from me. I think this is a great lens. Overall, I'd say it was definitely different working with this lens compared to the kit lens that was included with my camera. I faced a lot of issues with trying to line up the shot, just deal with that zooming, and exactly what focal length I need, how far away. I had to do some calculations, finally settled on a shot, thankfully. But it definitely gets a really good quality, and it gives me the effect that I want for YouTube videos, where hopefully I'm in focus and then there's some bokeh or blurring behind me. It's a third of the price of the other options, and it really is working for me, so I definitely recommend it if you don't want to pay for one of those really expensive lenses and you're just starting out and you want to see where to go. I will follow up with another review of this in, say, 6 months, so I know how it's holding up, because I have heard about issues with the autofocus not working anymore. It's not too big of an issue because you can manually focus it, but it certainly would be a pain. My biggest gripe with the lens is definitely that the focus is so loud. If you're using an external microphone, this is not too much of an issue. So I definitely recommend that you use one if you're going to use this lens for video and you need the audio from that. You can get these that plug into your camera if you've got a microphone port, which I do on my Nikon D3300. And anyway, if you're making a video for YouTube, I'd advise you to use a separate mic anyway. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Please remember to like and subscribe.